Vinton is a powerful meeting AI assistant built exclusively for Salesforce. Vinton transcribes and summarizes both online and in-person meetings as well as audio notes, helping teams work smarter and more effectively. Let's dive into how Vinton works. One of the first things you need to do is set up an email account, not an alias, for your Vinton Notetaker in Gmail or Outlook. This email account needs access to a calendar so that Vinton knows when it needs to attend meetings. By the way, we like to keep things flexible around here, so if you want to rename Vinton, you can. While Vinton is the default name, some users prefer branding it as Company Name Notetaker by Vinton. There are a number of ways to use Vinton in meetings. You can invite Vinton to your video calls by adding your company's Vinton Notetaker email address to your calendar invites in Outlook or Gmail. Vinton works seamlessly with Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams. Once the meeting begins, simply allow Vinton to join. When Vinton enters, it sends a chat message to all attendees, letting them know that the meeting is being recorded and transcribed. The message can be customized in the native video admin panel. Once in the meeting, Vinton transcribes and records the session and adds the summary and other generated text data to relevant Salesforce records, like opportunities, contacts, or accounts. You can also use Vinton for in-person meetings. You need to have both the Salesforce and Vinton mobile apps installed on your device. In the Salesforce mobile app, you tap Hey Vinton and choose to record an in-person meeting, with the consent of all attendees, of course. Vinton integrates with Slack too. Once set up, it can automatically join Slack huddles to record and transcribe discussions. Need to capture quick thoughts? Use Vinton to record audio notes. Through the Hey Vinton button in the Salesforce desktop or mobile app, you can record audio notes anytime that Vinton transcribes and summarizes. You can also add helpful recording hints tailored to your needs, such as prompts like BANT for early stage prospects, or MEDIC or MEDPIC for qualified leads. You can customize when different hints appear in the note-taking interface. No matter how you use Vinton, recordings are playable from within related Salesforce records, and the text outputs such as transcripts, summary, next steps are there too. Here's a contact record. We can view the recordings saved against this contact, the AI-generated notes, follow-up email, tasks and transcript. And we can click on the opportunity for this contact and see the same recordings. Vinton even sends a summary email with next steps to users, linking back to the Salesforce records for easy follow-up. You can control whether this email goes to all participants who are Salesforce users in your org or just the meeting host. Any external participants do not receive the email. Now let's explore the Vinton tab. This is like a dashboard of all of your meetings and notes, organised and filterable by type: video calls, audio notes, or in-person meetings. In the Vinton tab, you only see calls and notes to which you were invited or own. Here's where we find lots of in-depth information about each of our meetings. Let's look into one of the video calls. Here we can see a video call with 2 participants. On the Overview tab, we see the full call recording, meeting minutes broken down into sections, the key topics mentioned with a timeline of discussion length, a speaking time chart colour-coded by participant. Some elements, like key topics, allow you to jump directly to that part of the call recording, making it easy to skip to the relevant section of a call. You also see the full summary of the call, which is expandable. You can easily copy or edit this summary. You see the time spent speaking again, but totaled by user, and the ranked list of discussion topics by duration. Let's go deeper into the other tabs. If we click See More Details under the Time Spent Speaking, we're taken to the Time tab. Here we see more details, such as when different events happened, when attendees joined or left the call, switched on their camera, shared their screen. We can filter by attendee here too. And underneath, we also see the longest monologues from the call. The next tab takes us to Topics. This gives us a more comprehensive list of topics discussed and also includes any people mentioned during the call. Vinton will capture the names of other people mentioned and list them here. Next we move on to meeting minutes. Vinton sections out your meeting into suggested agenda items with timestamps and a brief description. You can easily copy each section of text. Next we see the follow-up email. This will be the same email that you saw when viewing the related record earlier. Vinton has drafted a suggested follow-up email covering all the pertinent points from the meeting. Again, it's easy to copy this, or if you're the owner of the meeting, you can also edit it before copying. Next step shows us a list of AI-suggested tasks to be undertaken after the meeting. Edit them or convert them into Salesforce tasks. Even add new tasks if needed. We can also look at the transcript of the meeting, search within the transcript, or filter it by speaker. Now we come on to two standout features in Vinton. The dialogue score will indicate whether the meeting had an overall positive, neutral or negative sentiment. Vinton will also extract highlighted moments from the meeting with a brief explanation as to why those were positive or negative. The Coaching tab is where Vinton scores your meeting based on meeting best practices from poor to great. Vinton will make some brief overall observations and identify specific areas of improvement linked to the relevant section of the call. Let's take a brief look at the in-person meeting example and see how that's been captured by Vinton. By default, Vinton does not retain in-person recordings after the transcript has been processed. Your Salesforce admin can change this if you wish to retain in-person recordings for a specific period of time. In this case, we have actually retained the recording, and we see very similar results for an in-person meeting as for a video meeting, the only difference being that with one device recording the meeting, Vinton doesn't automatically know who was speaking at any time. We can easily assign records to the speakers in Salesforce. Let's take a look at the audio notes. With audio notes, we can replay the note recording. This is useful if, for example, a manager asks their team to leave an audio note at the end of each week about each opportunity they're working. Again, we see key topics mentioned. We see associated records in Salesforce, in this case an account and a contact. We see the summary and whether the note was positive or negative. We see the key topics mentioned, and then all of that in more detail in the next tab. Vinton's also created a follow-up email in case the note contains information the user wants to send to a customer or manager. Next steps as well, and the transcript from the note. For audio notes, it's possible to edit the transcript. For all your meetings and notes, you can generate sharing links for recordings to share outside your Salesforce organization. Prefer not to share? Admins can disable this feature anytime. When you paste the link into a new tab, you can see the sharing page for that recording. That's a full summary of Vinton's front-end user experience. Let's take a look at some of the features that are unique to Vinton that can be tailored to your organization's processes. Vinton uses DeepGram for highly accurate transcriptions and allows custom word dictionaries for unique terminology. Customers can also choose AWS or Whisper as alternative transcription services, but the custom word dictionaries are not available for those. You can tailor Vinton's text outputs with custom prompts. All our prompts are visible in the admin panel, and you can add your custom prompt easily. For example, our default prompt for the next steps says they should be in English, but you could add a custom prompt that says the next steps should be in the same language as the transcript. Our Prompt Studio enables you to test out a prompt before using it. Grab a transcript from a call, add the details for the prompt that you want to test, and you can see the result before you apply that custom prompt widely. Recording hints can be added here if you want to offer some ideas for what should be included in an audio note. It's easy to add new hints, and you can adjust when those hints should be displayed in the Vinton Note Recorder component by editing the page in which the component sits. We aim to provide a fully flexible service to our customers, and we want every customer to feel they're in control of their data. That's why we enable customers to bring their own storage and bring their own AI. By default, Vinton stores media files securely in an AWS S3 bucket for 365 days. After 365 days, recordings are deleted, but of course all of the text outputs generated from the media remain in your Salesforce org. Customers can opt to connect their own AWS or Azure or any other cloud storage to retain recordings, or if a customer prefers to take a backup of their call recordings on a rolling basis, or as a one-off annual backup before the data expires, we can provide this service. Our Bring Your Own AI service enables you to connect your enterprise LLM to Vinton. You'll generate the same text output but keep the data in your own enterprise LLM, giving you full control and alignment with your data strategy. The stream of fresh, high-quality conversational data means your enterprise LLM learns all the time, delivering sharper insights and better outcomes. We're continually improving Vinton all of the time. Vinton helps teams to work faster, work smarter, continuously improve, and get their org ready for Agentforce. Try Vinton without installing it in your org. Go to vinton.ai/try for details.